35 seconds remaining.
Help!
You're all we've got.
I love the sight of blood.
30 seconds left.
Lethal out.
10 seconds
Just
left.
breathe.
Enemies eliminated. That's what I like to see.
What is going on, everyone? Griffin here, coming at you with some Phantom gameplay, and today we're going to be talking about a new feature that needs to be added into Rogue Company. So let's head over and check it out. So I'm over here perusing the Reddit, seeing what people has to say about Rogue Company, and I see this image pop up on Reddit as I'm perusing, and I'm like, wow. I've seen things like this introduced into other games before, and I think that this would be a very good and very simple thing that could be added into Rogue Company to try to encourage players to continue to stick around and to at least finish their matches out. So as you can see from this image, it says here, your team won without you. Next time, stick around. And I know that that is something where it's like, oh, that could be considered as toxic. I don't really think that that's considered toxic. And if you want to measure the levels of toxicity in Rogue Company, I think that a player just leaving the match, just bam, out of the match, is toxic enough to where you put something like this in their face every single time that they leave, then I think that that would possibly encourage them to stick around a little bit more. But before we get into that, they have introduced countermeasures to try to stop leavers from polluting games in Rogue Company. Their brilliant idea was backfill, right? Human backfill was the be-all, end-all solution to leavers, AFKers, and the like in Rogue Company. And the system is absolutely 100% flawed in every single way. And the reason why is because you drop in, you have one player, they leave the match, right? Then you have to wait for someone to queue. You have to wait for someone to actually come into the match. You have to wait for them to pick a character. Then you have to wait for a round to end if you're playing a round-based game mode to actually jump into the action and be able to be a part of everything that's going on. How long does that take? Sometimes it has taken, 3, 4, 5 rounds for that to actually happen. By the time they actually get into the game, then guess what? The game is almost over, whether it be your team winning or the enemy team winning. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be someone that's just hopping on for the first time that day. So they're going to come in, they're going to be rusty, they're going to come into the middle of a match, they're going to get bodied a couple of times because, as we all know, whenever you start to play against a team, you start figuring out how that team works, and they start figuring out how you work, and then it turns into this like mini competitive type experience, right? That's how games work. And whenever they drop in right in the middle of the match or towards the end of the match, then the enemy team is already straight trying to dominate, and then your team's trying to straight dominate, and then whenever they get bodied right out of the plane, what are they going to do? Oh, well, screw this. And then they jump off the map, leave the game. Then the game either ends or we go through that same process all over again. We got to find somebody that's queuing. We got to get them in there. We got to get them to pick a character. We got to get them into the match. We got to wait for the match to end to get them into it. Like, it's just this terrible process that just doesn't feel good whatsoever. Respawn game modes, strikeout, things like that feels amazing. People can just drop in and out all they want to, and you don't even hardly notice that it's happening. But in round-based game modes or single life game modes, you absolutely see this happening. And it feels really bad when you're playing and you have people that are constantly rotating in and out, whether it be on your team or the enemy team, because of the way that the game runs, the way that the game's played. It just doesn't lend itself to being one person short. Yes, you can make miracles happen. Yes, you can pull your team together and do incredible things. But at the same time, you're still a person down. Strength in numbers, and if the enemy team realizes that, or if your team realizes that, as long as you're smart and stick together, you're not going to lose. So that's just kind of the way that it is. If they introduce something like this, and also if they gave rewards to people that do stick around to finish the match out, then I think that that would encourage players, regardless of whether people leave the match or not, to stick around, first of all, because normally it's kind of a domino effect. You have one person leave, oh, screw this. Another person leave, oh, so we're down to 2 people. Might as well surrender, right? No. You increase the rewards, you increase the XP, you increase the reputation that they gain off of that match for the players that actively do stick around. And then once the match ends, if the team that have the levers on it win, they need to send something like this to those people that left, and they need to do something about it. I know that they have talked in the past about possibly incorporating like deserter penalties again. I know that they are probably not going to do that because there's not enough of a player base now at this point now to do that. They should have came out of the gate strong, and they should have stood firm on their beliefs that if you leave, if you AFK, anything like that, this is how harsh this is going to be. And this is going to continue to scale, and it's going to become more and more increasingly harsh as you continue to do these offenses. But they didn't. They backed down, and then they introduced the backfill feature, which is trash, just completely trash all the way around. So they put a band-aid on a gunshot wound, and at the end of the day, they pulled the band-aid off. They realized it was infected, and they're just going to amputate it at that point. That's just the way that it is. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that having a system like this in Rogue Company would be beneficial for the game whatsoever? If this screen pops up, if you go AFK or if you leave, would that incentivize you to stick around whenever you are playing a match that isn't going the way that you want it to go? Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. Also, be sure to check that description for links to Facebook, Discord, and Twitter. Those are the places to contact me. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. If you've already subscribed to the channel, then consider hitting that join button to become one of the 256 crew members. And lastly, on Thursdays from 8 until 11 p.m. Central Time, Sundays from 10 a.m. until we get tired, I will be streaming here on YouTube. So if you're interested and available, please feel free to stop by and say hello there. And also, I want to apologize about the audio in this video. I did not have my mic in front of my face here, as you can see, because I'm a dumbass. So I'll go ahead and apologize for that. But enjoy the video, guys.
Go to Milledgeville today, get a package. They got that Amazon drop box over there.
Yeah.
It's like closer than going to anything else. So, plus, you know, get to go to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Dude, I got on that app and went into Taco Bell. That was like, it's gonna be 30 minutes on the beef if you got anything with beef in it. And I was like, I mean, I just ordered on the app. It didn't say that. So,
You're all we've got.
but they were like, you know, people coming in. Everybody got their order way before me, and I was there 20 minutes before they came in.
Yeah.
30 seconds left.
Like, they came in, they made their orders, then made mine. Like, okay. Cool. But when I left there, there was a vape shop, and I was like, oh, I want to go in here and try to see if they got in those little Delta 8,
10
those little
seconds
chocolates. They're like $2 a piece, but it's just a mixture of a bunch of different Deltas. It's a nice little vibe, you know?
left.
They didn't have them in this place, but he was like, we got these. I was like, what are those? He was like Super Stone. Yeah.
Joking, hazard.
In the middle of the night.
Like, I'm glad I didn't take another one. Because at first I was like, ain't nothing really happening. Then all of a sudden I was sitting there and I was like, I started worrying about the sun blowing up. And I was like, I'm high. Worried about like a galaxy colliding into us or something. Them not telling us about it. I'm like, this motherfucker. I think they're all acting crazy because of that fucking, that big ass glacier, man. That's like cracking down the middle.
Yeah.
Whenever that motherfucker breaks off for real and falls in the ocean, it's gonna raise the sea level quite a bit. Like, the coast is gonna be fucked everywhere.
Aw, I'll take care of you.
Like when you go to Florida or something, it's like, it's cool to look out across that, but I was like, I don't know if I want to live here.
Yeah, right.
Like, it's a lot of water.
T-minus 45.
A lot of fucking...
I've seen
Women.
tsunamis. I'm good.
Your tsunami?
All it does is yes, it just takes one little earthquake or something, and it's fucking on. I saw some video on TikTok the other day where a guy was like, I worked in the military, and it's like, okay, sure you did, but he's like, what they've done is there was submarines, and they've put bombs on the west coast and the east coast in the water, and they're gonna blow it up, and it's gonna cause a huge tidal wave on both sides. That's why they were warning people, like in New York and then California. They were like, if there's a nuke, it's like they're not gonna nuke, they're just gonna fucking flood it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah,
Or
what it would look like.